All right, what's up, fellas? Thursday morning, freezing our asses off here in Chicago in the winter already. I feel like it's going to be it's like a winter's day at a deep and dark December, like Simon and Garfunkel said. This is going to be a cold one. But you know where it's warm? In here in the studio. In the Barstool Chicago office, we're not live, and we're warming up with some Stella Blue coffee out of the golden mug as always. The only way to start your morning. Let's get up. Let's get our freaking minds right. Let's have a hell of a day. We got dude wipes as always, too, to clean up our messes. Tyler Moody joining us from Louisiana. A lot of fun topics to get into today. Yesterday was National Signing Day. Obviously, a lot of talk. Check out tonight's the third episode of Surviving Barstool. That's going on. It's huge. That's all I'm going to say. But good reviews, great reviews, and our production team's the best in the world. Shout out to everybody that makes it happen. Just unbelievable, the crew here at Barstool. Got some NFL tonight. Huge game. And we're going to make NFL preview on DraftKings this week. Can't wait to see the Packers and the Lions. Woo, what a monster game in the NFC North. Maybe one of the best divisions we've ever seen in pro football history. With Detroit 11-1, Minnesota 10-2, and Chicago 9-3. Last night, DraftKings had their weekly King of the Court competition. Cade Cunningham gets it done. Kind of a long shot. Anybody that took him is feeling pretty damn good today on DraftKings because you probably got a huge free bet. Can't wait to see. That's a great promotion. Every Wednesday, all you have to do is place a $5 bet. And if you pick the right king on a player prop, if you pick the right King of the Court, you get to split a free bet with everyone on how many people picked him. So when you get a long shot, which Cade Cunningham kind of was, it can be freaking huge. I want to shout out the Barstool crew in Turkey. Man, the content that came out of Turkey with Wonton Don and White Sox Dave and Nikki Smokes and Rudy and just everybody that went over there this week, just unbelievable Barstool content. Just thought Wonton Don just never fails to blow me away. He is just one of the most unique people, and he just crushes it all the time. And, man, thought that was awesome. I just want to shout out that content. So, big week here at the Stool, and we're joined by Tyler Moody. Let's go. What's up, Moody? How are you this morning?
Hey, what's up, brother? Sorry, I was a little behind trying to get my camera and everything set up, but I'm good to go. A little bit tired, but hey, we're here. What's up? Let's wake up, baby.
Let's wake up. Let's get our freaking minds right, dude. It's going to be a hell of a weekend. Let's make some money. We got conference championship week in football. Can't wait to see that. Huge NFL Sunday. As I said, Packers Lions tonight. Got some other topics I want to run down. I got a topic I want to ask you about because you're our baseball guy. And I forgot to ask you about this earlier this week. So did you see the rumors about this golden at bat thing? So there's rumors Manfred, the MLB GM, MLB commissioner, is going to allow one golden at bat in a game where you can just put your favorite batter up at any time. I guess they're trying to increase scoring and drama. Baseball, to me, and I know it's a different era, but it's like baseball is like the most traditional sport, and that's the most gimmicky shit I've ever heard. I mean, I guess it would be like drama and stuff, and it's like a clicks thing, but like, what do you think about this as a baseball purist?
You know, I was okay with the runner in extra innings. I was okay with the pitch clock. These are things that made sense as far as driving baseball forward. Those made sense, right? This doesn't make a lick of sense. This is the dumbest shit I have ever heard proposed in possibly any sport, because we're talking about completely changing the game for this. These other, small rule changes that they've made have certainly changed the game, but they've sped it up. They've made it more enjoyable. And I think that's what they think they are doing by adding this golden at-bat rule. I don't think it's ever going to come to fruition. I don't think there's any way that baseball purists are going to let this happen, because it is one of the dumbest things ever, and it just completely changes the essence of the game. We're not making small, minor alterations to the way the game is played. We're talking about a massive change, the ability to just take a guy who maybe just struck out or just let's imagine a scenario where Aaron Judge is up in the ninth. You haven't used your golden at bat rule. You got a base open. They walk Aaron Judge, and then you just use your golden at bat rule, and he comes right back and hits again. Like, is that how that's going to work? This is one of the dumbest things I have ever heard. And baseball Manfred in particular, has lost their damn mind, even trying to run this out there. I think this is just something they're talking about to try and spark some conversation around Major League Baseball, maybe see how it was perceived by the public. But this shit is dumb, man.
What do you think? Okay, because like I said, the baseball purist thing, I mean, the National League, yanking the pitcher at bats and going DH last year, I didn't have a problem with that as much. I mean, I understand what they're trying to do. The pitch clock thing speeds the game up. They want probably more scoring and more drama. But, man, I don't know. I had to bring that up with you with that golden at bat thing. And I agree with you. I mean, I just think it's crazy. All right, so yesterday, National Signing Day in college football.
Hey, hang on. The people are saying you have to earn a little bit more sports talk. They're saying you got to give us something. I don't know what the Grimace Truffle Shuffle is. I don't. Do you know what that is? I have no clue.
I don't know, but I'm down to. We'll do something.
Give us a little something here. Earn a little something from the chat. I don't know if that's going to suffice for them, but
the Truffle Shuffle, that would go with no shirt. I wasn't going to go no shirt.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay, we're not going to go no shirt. I feel like everybody saw enough of my body last night already.
Okay, that's what. Now that I'm looking up what the Grimace Truffle Shuffle is, that's not terrible, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm not going to go shirt off, but
yeah, that's fine. That's up to you.
Okay, fair enough. All right, appreciate the chat chiming in as always. All right, some other. Okay, got a bunch of topics for today. All right, so National Signing Day yesterday. Moody, a saga that's very interesting. So number 1 linebacker, Mississippi, signs with Ole Miss. It was between Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Signs with Ole Miss, commits to Ole Miss in the morning. His mom won't send in the e-signature. Tyler Lockhart's his name, okay? So Ole Miss announces they get him. Signing day. He was 4-star linebacker, big deal. They send his mom the just signing papers all day. Refuses to sign them, and then signs them for Mississippi State last night. Now the kid's going to Mississippi State. Freaking crazy. So now the kid is I think wanted to go to Ole Miss, and his mom refused. I guess she's a State fan, and signed it for Mississippi State. And last night it comes out, now he's going to Mississippi State. How crazy is that?
No, that's insane for so many reasons. The fact that can even happen where I understand, I guess he's still a minor, so his mom has authority over him.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what it is. I feel bad for the kid. I mean, I know he was a 4-star linebacker, Tyler Lockhart, but that's just a wild saga. Luckily, with the way the transfer portal is, I mean, if it doesn't, he can just come to Ole Miss next year if it doesn't go well. But, that's just crazy. That's a just crazy thing to me.
It's insane because it's not just insane because your own mother did it to you. It's even worse because she's making you go to Mississippi State, though. This could have happened at any other school, and it'd probably be okay, mom's got their best interest in mind. But when your mom is sending you to Mississippi State that your own mother doesn't even love you anymore. You basically did something that really upset her, and she's sending you to Mississippi State. This is the worst of the worst boarding schools. This is bigger than a college football story. I think this is a story of a mother's hatred for her own son, and that's just sad.
It's just cruel. Well, he could probably start there. You see their defense last year.
True.
At least he can get it. Yeah, at least he can start there his first year. But signing day always has the wildest stuff. It's just crazy. You'll see people sign with multiple schools. And it's weird to me, too, because college football signing day used to always be February 3rd or something. And it was always a holiday in college football. It was a huge thing. But now they've moved it in December, and it's the middle of the conference championship week and the playoffs and the transfer portal and bowl games. So it's not like the event it used to be. But you always just see the craziest stuff. And, LSU lost 2 5-star recruits in the last week because of just titanic offers, because now it's a money game. And one of them, I heard, got $2 million from USC. And so, I get it. It's, look, if I was a 17 or 18-year-old kid, I'd try to get as much money as I could. I don't think that's, any kind of, I know that it, people say the purest of the game thing, but damn, it's capitalism. I get it. A couple of the stories that I want to mention. Huge day, so Moody, for Auburn, okay? I know Hugh Freeze has been getting rained on these 2 years, but they got Deuce Knight, who's like one of the top quarterbacks, and he was originally committed to Notre Dame. Then he flipped to Auburn. Ole Miss was trying to get him, didn't. He's going to Auburn. He's probably going to start as a true freshman, and this is the biggest moment for the Hugh Freeze Auburn era, for sure. It's been a rough 2 years. I know they improved a little bit toward the end of this year, but if he's what he's supposed to be, their franchise guy, this is going to be where Auburn takes off. I expect him to start as a true freshman instantly. I mean, he's just that big of a recruit. So they're saying like next Cam Newton. I mean, you never know with high school kids, but that's how hyped up he is. The high school quarterback thing, though, sometimes they bust, sometimes they don't. But regardless, massive moment for Auburn. And I know it's been rough, and we've been raining on them, and everybody's been raining on them. So you gotta say, like, for all the people that are seeing the freeze here, they're a big deal.
As a quarterback, how many coaches are there that are like better for me than Hugh Freeze? Like, Hugh Freeze is incredibly good at developing quarterbacks. Like, how many other guys across the country are better than Hugh Freeze right now?
I mean, I still think he's a really good coach in big games and stuff. I think maybe at Auburn it was kind of a mess when he came in off the Brian Harsin thing. They fired Malzahn.
I mean, just the quarterback whispering part, though. Like, he's done a really good job with some of these QBs.
Yeah, I think there are some that are better, but I still think he's really, really good. And, we call it, like, everybody rains on Hugh Freeze for a million reasons, but I got to give him credit. That was a big deal for them to get Deuce Knight. Number one player in Mississippi, Caleb Cunningham, 5-star receiver going to Ole Miss, by the way. So that's huge.
Would you be upset? Would you be upset if the story was vice versa, where the kid was going to Ole Miss instead of Mississippi State?
No, I wouldn't. It's a bizarre story on the Lockhart thing.
It is a bizarre story.
Yeah. And look, I mean, it's funny the fan outrage over the recruits and committing to schools. Because like last week when Bryce Underwood flipped from LSU to Michigan was just bananas. The fan outrage from it, and it's always crazy. And like I used to be super into the recruiting deal, and it's changed because of the portal. But like, you can't get mad over we're 17 and 18-year-olds try to go to school. It's crazy. But regardless, interesting National Signing Day stuff as always. Ole Miss had like the number 15 class and went more high school heavy and less portal. No, didn't sign a quarterback though.
Do you think there will ever be a cap to the NIL? Because it's a little bit absurd the way, like, here's the problem. There's no perfect, when we've talked about this since the beginning of paying these kids, there is no perfect solution. So what the NCAA did is they just gave it to these boosters essentially and said, hey, y'all take care of it. It's going to save us all the hassle. But like, there's also flaws in the way we're doing it right now as well. Do you think there will ever be a cap to the NIL?
I think it's going to get regulated more. I don't know if there'll be like a cap, but I do think there's talk of it in Congress now, and they need to like make regulations where it's like less Wild Westy and you can enforce the contracts, because there's a lot of weird stuff with the contracts. Like a lot of these schools will do deals. They'll be like, hey, we'll give you a 3-year deal where you get like $100K each of the first 2 years and then $500K the third year. And you're only making the third year if you're like first team All-American, because then they make cuts. I mean, it's like NFL. Like they cut people. It's a real crazy deal. So I think it does need to be regulated and maybe more out in the open. What would be freaking fascinating is if they had to release all the financial data. Because I always hear all the numbers, so-and-so gets this, so-and-so gets that. But if that was out in the open and everybody knew it, that would be fascinating. And you see all these college football teams have guys now that are like GMs. That's like a new position in college football, like managing the NIL money and the signing stuff and all that. But it's crazy. And Phil Knight, I mean, like you said, it's like, I don't want to say it's unfair because, like I said, if you got money, spend it. But like what Oregon has right now, Phil Knight, founder of Nike, he's 86 years old, and he said, all I want to see is an Oregon national championship. Here's a blank check. I want to see it before I die. And so, like, I mean, well, I know you know a lot about that Oregon program. I mean, that's –
yeah. When I lived up there, he was donating not just to the football program, but to everything. He built a $500 million science building. I mean, Phil Knight is just handing millions and millions and millions of dollars to Oregon. I think he's probably the biggest donor across the country without question. And he, dude, you can just see it. Their facilities are so good everywhere. And you always hear people giving thanks to Phil Knight because he has impacted every single part of every program on that Oregon campus. Like their track team, he does so much for them. Like he just throws money into it. And you got to tip your cap. Obviously, he has the cash to do it, so it probably doesn't hurt him very much. But just the respect and the loyalty to his school is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, now look where they are. Number 1 team in the country,
Number
playing Penn State. They're 3.5-point favorite on DraftKings Saturday night. Big Ten championship. They're going to be the 1 seed with the win here. I mean, they're the only undefeated team. I don't know. You got to give them props. Dylan Gabriel. I like. As I've analyzed the games all week, I like Oregon Saturday night too. Penn State. I got to see them win the big one. I know that's always the knock on Franklin, and I think that the analyzing it, the game being indoors on turf, I think is good for Oregon. Oregon's got speed. Gabriel can run, and I think that benefits them more than Penn State. It could be close, but I think Oregon going to be the number 1 seed in the playoffs, and Phil Knight and the unlimited NIL money. Pretty big reason why. Dan Lanning, hell of a coach too, and he makes freaking heaps. Like, I mean, Bama couldn't even get him from Oregon because of Phil Knight last year. So
no, it's been badass to see what Oregon has done here. I just think they have a slightly different mentality than every other team that I've watched play this year. Like Dan Lanning, they feel like a team that just shows up and does their fucking job. You know what I mean? Like every single person on the team shows up, plays the game the right way. They don't make mistakes. They're
super professional.
Like, this is a professional football team. Dan Lanning has them ready to play ball, and they give 110% every time they show up. Sometimes with these 20, 21-year-old kids that are getting paid millions of dollars, I feel like their effort is not quite there the way that it should be. We haven't seen that at all with Oregon. I mean, they have been locked in.
And the thing with them, too, you always think of Oregon and you think of like Chip Kelly and the spread offenses and all that. Dude, Lanning's got them built like an SEC team, dude. Their D-line is monster. And so they're tough as hell, and that's why they may win the Big Ten, which is like a rugged conference in year one. One other college football story I got to mention, especially with the NOLA ties. So Tulane's getting ready to play the American Athletic Championship game tomorrow night at Army. They're like a 5-point favorite. Big rumors that UNC, who've let go of Mac Brown finally at 73, who had all-time legend coach, great career. I always kind of hate to see someone like that get forced out after everything he did, but I mean, it is what it is. UNC's going hard after John Sumrall at Tulane. And I saw Tulane's athletic. They were posting about on Twitter. They got to come up with some big money to keep Sumrall in New Orleans. North Carolina's actually a pretty damn attractive college football job, like, I mean, but I know that like they haven't always had the best tradition, but ACC, great fan base, great campus. That's a place I think you can win and really build something. And so I'm curious to see, I kind of think Tulane will be able to keep him here because I always thought Sumrall is waiting on Kentucky. He went to Kentucky undergrad. He was their linebackers coach. He's close with Mark Stoops. Like, I feel like he almost got the Kentucky job last year when Stoops got hired by A&M and then A&M rejected it. Sumrall was going to go Troy to Kentucky after winning 2 Sun Belt championships, and he ended up at Tulane instead. I think Tulane can keep him here, but it's going to be interesting. And then also, how does that factor in on Tulane this week? They're getting ready to play for a freaking conference championship tomorrow night. But I think they'll be all business regardless. I just hope he stays in NOLA because he's just awesome. And he's a huge friend of Wake Up Mintzy. He's been on here twice this year. It's crazy. But that's the biggest coaching rumor right now in college football, that job opening. Speaking of one other college sports thing, got to mention this. I hadn't taught much college basketball so far this year. But Moody, SEC-ACC challenge this week, okay? Where, ACC always the best college basketball conference. SEC, not a basketball league. Best
Allegedly.
football, best college baseball. SEC goes freaking 13-2 against the ACC in the challenge. What?
Wow.
Duke beat Auburn last night, and Clemson beat Kentucky. Those are their 2 wins. And Alabama, I know Rico Bosco, huge close friend of Nate Oates, friend of the program. Dude, the Bama basketball thing, like, I'm no Alabama fan, obviously, but, man, they are the most fun team to watch, man. They just come out and they freaking rain threes from everywhere, and just they make me like watching college basketball. They came out last night, won 94-79 at Carolina on the road in Chapel Hill, but I don't know, I just, love watching them play. Like, their style, it's wild. And, man, I think there's a shot they had the number 1 recruiting class. And, I don't know, Spear, they got a real shot at the national championship. But SEC, not a basketball league, 13-2 against the ACC in the challenge. Pretty freaking dominant. And I'm pretty stoked, I don't know, getting into the college basketball spirit a little bit. Huge day yesterday.
I haven't seen 1 second of college basketball just yet. College basketball doesn't begin for me until March rolls around. I'll be honest. Like I may catch a game here or there, but I don't know. I used to like college basketball growing up. For some reason, I find myself not as intrigued as I once was.
I usually get into it right after football and then, during February and then all of March, conference tournaments and games. But more into it this year because Ole Miss is already number 23. Chris Beard tore up the portal and they smoked Louisville. The Rebels looking really, really good this year in year two. And Beard's made huge year two leaps, too, at Texas Tech.
All right, chat thinks you need to earn a little more time. All right, give us the punishment here, chat. We'll put this one on y'all. Give us something good real quick. And then while we're waiting on them to give us something here, they're asking, our boy Dees was asking if we're still believers or if I'm still a believer in Ohio State. I still think Ohio State has a great chance to win the national championship. I mean,
look, I do too.
They're good, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, no doubt. Well, their defense is super elite, and
yeah,
the
I
talent
think they're going to be there when all is said and done.
Yeah, I think it's very possible. 2 years ago, they got blown out at home by Michigan, and then they snuck into the 4th spot in the playoff, and that was maybe the best Georgia team, and that they lost 43-42 and should have won that game in the playoffs. And I think you're going to see a similar, just massive bounce-back effort here for them in the playoffs. And they're looking at hosting a home playoff game still, so I don't think it's all lost. I do think that Will Howard's got to throw the ball better. I mean, you got three wide receivers that are top 2-round picks in the NFL for sure. And the passing game has just been so inconsistent all year. I mean, he's a good runner, but that's kind of been the problem because they've got everything. And I think, and then the odds tell you everything. They're like plus 450 or 5 to 1 to win it still. So yeah. I don't think that that's any kind of a shock there that they have a really, really good chance. And obviously this weekend conference championships, so much up for grabs. What are you laughing at?
All right, they've given you 2 options here. You can either do some burpees, or you can do 2 minutes of saying positive things about Mississippi State.
Okay, burpees. I don't know if I can. Okay, okay. Let me remember a burpee thing because I don't want to say anything positive about State.
I kind of figured that would be the case here. Here, burpees.
It's like a get down, get up.
Yeah, it's like the thing we used to do in like elementary school, where it's like a push up into a push up, or like trying to describe it. Google it real quick. YouTube.
Okay. I know I've seen them before. Okay.
You've done them before growing up in school.
All right, I'm looking them up. Burpees. All right, we're looking up a burpee. How do we do the burpee? How to do a burpee. All right, we're going to have to, get down, push up, jump up, and jump. Okay. I think we can try it. Do I need to adjust my camera?
Zoom your camera out just a little bit so we can get the full experience here.
Okay.
Man's got to unload his pockets real quick. All right, that'll work. All right. Solid effort. Where's he going? Oh, okay.
I mean, wasn't the worst, or what'd you think?
No, it wasn't the worst effort that I've seen. No, I mean, I can tell that gassed you out. Those are very intense, though.
Yeah, they are. Whew. They are, but I'd rather do that than talk positively about Mississippi State. That's for damn sure.
That's fair.
Especially
what is the number of burpees that you would choose to have to do versus 2 minutes of Mississippi State positive talk.
I have no idea, and I don't even want to answer that because I know what this is leading.
No, I'm just curious.
What I do? I did 4 there.
You did 4. They were asking for 8. You gave them 4. So we'll let you talk sports.
How about this? They asked you for 8. I'll do 4 more on the next round then.
Yeah, fair.
I feel I owe the chat that. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hit this
game tonight.
Let's talk this game. Let's run through the NFL board because we got to make some money on DraftKings this weekend. All right. Detroit's 3.5 and 51.5 tonight. Huge matchup. Look, I've said it all week. We talked about it yesterday. I'm taking Green Bay 14-1 today to win the NFC North. I went through all 3. So it's Detroit 11-1, Minnesota 10-2, Green Bay 9-3. I went through schedules because they all got to play each other still. Green Bay has 2 division losses already, and that's the tiebreaker because they lost it. The reason it's 14-1 is they lost to both of them already. Okay, so they got to. I mean, they basically have to go to have a shot here. I mean, they may have to win out. They'd have to go 4-1 to have a chance at 13-4. Green Bay has at Detroit. If they win tonight, though, it'll change everything. At Seattle, they have 2 home wins for sure in the Saints and the Bears, and then they still have at Minnesota. So I think you got to go 4-1, and if you lose, it probably has to be the at Seattle game. That's non-division. All right, so the Vikings and Lions still play each other. They both still play Green Bay, so you're going to get some losses in there. But the whole thing on this bet is just Green Bay win. If Green Bay wins tonight, I think it would be like a good value. I've seen enough from the Packers, and I'm looking at DraftKings right now too. I'm gonna check out their odds on. I'm checking out their odds, the futures. DK partner, as always. I'm checking out their odds to win the conference because I really they're only plus 650 actually to win the NFC. So that's not even that good.
I have a Super Bowl ticket. I have a lot of exposure already on the Packers. I am going to add them at 14-1, kind of small. To win the NFC North, just because it makes sense. I'm just going to go small with it, though. I'm already so exposed on Green Bay. I don't think they need to win the division to win the NFC. I think they're one of the.
Do you think they can win 3 in a row on the play? Because I know last year when they got hot in the playoffs, they went on the road and won at Dallas, and they could have won at San Francisco. But 3 in a row, it's just tough now when you have to go 3 weeks on the road in a row.
I don't disagree with you, but I don't think any team in the NFC outside of Philadelphia is more built to win on the road in December than Green Bay, January, like in this cold weather. I do think Green Bay is the one team that's capable of going on a run on the road. I'm not saying that they will, but I'm saying that they could. Obviously, I took the Super Bowl bet way before I took it.
What odds you get? Like 22? Like 22?
Yeah, I got it 18-1.
That's a good one because now it's like 13 or 14. I know. I was looking at it. They were 22 a few weeks ago. I'm kind of mad I didn't take it. So what do you think of the game tonight? Detroit's 3.5. I like I said, I like Green Bay.
I like Green Bay here too. I think I will say this. I think Romeo Doubs needs to play tonight. I know he's a big piece to this. He's an incredibly good receiver. Green Bay needs him on the outside. He's just an extra weapon. And there's a chance this could turn into a shootout. I think if Green Bay is going to win this game, though, their defense needs to be very good, very sound, and they need to deal with this potent offense that the Lions possess. Green Bay's defense has been great. Will they be great tonight? I think that is, in my opinion, the biggest question mark. And if they play well, they're going to win.
Over under 51.5 high, but I think it will be higher scoring. The only thing about taking overs in Green Bay games is they play slow tempo. They huddle, they run the ball, they do long drives. Yes. And so when they're really efficient, but it's hard to take overs because they don't go up tempo at all. Like they snap like the least plays in the NFL. And so, and you know they're going to do that against Detroit to try to keep that offense off the field on that turf. So that's but the Detroit thing, they're unbelievable. I'm not hating on the Lions. Yeah. I'm just going against them because like they have no one left on defense and everybody's out. And their offense still can score every possession and they can win. But I mean, there's a point in the NFL where it has to bleed in. And like obviously Hutchinson being out, but it's way more than that. I mean, they've got DJ Reader out tonight, ton of guys out. And so that's why I kind of lean Green Bay here. Let's run through some of the others. We got a bunch of NFL games to get to. We got to make some money this weekend, Moody. Got to keep this rolling. All right, Sunday, Carolina plus 12.5 at Philly, 46. I got a quick opinion on this one. I think Bryce Young has to come back to earth, and this is the game that it happens. I know he's been so hot, and you got to give him tons of credit for the way he bounced back from getting benched because he's looked like a completely different quarterback since he's come back from getting benched. He's been throwing for like 300 yards every game. I feel like if there's a regression game, it's this one against this Philly defense. I mean, Philly's defense has been unbelievable under Fangio. Great D-line. They fixed their secondary. This game up in Philly, I just feel like Bryce Young's due to, like, come back to the mean, and I think this is the spot where he does it.
I don't disagree with you at all. I think Philly's going to beat the absolute dog piss out of Carolina. I think that Saquon Barkley is going to have 150-plus rushing yards in this game. He has a chance to do some incredible stuff this year. He needs to have a pop-off game, though, to finish the season, and this is the perfect spot. Like, I just run the football down Carolina's throat. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL against the run. I think Philly's going to beat the shit out of them. I think Saquon has a massive day. I actually think Kenneth Gainwell may be playing by the fourth quarter. That's how bad Philly's going to be.
Yeah, I think, like, the Carolina thing, they've been covering and fighting every week. And I think this is the week they get blown out. I do.
Philly's playing good ball.
Philly's playing the best. I think it's Philly.
I don't want to play.
Dude, I think Philly dominating at Baltimore. I think Philly's playing best team in the NFL right now, the way they're playing.
I would not disagree with you. By the way, Romeo Doubs is out. Yeah, they just announced that yesterday at 3:30. I hadn't seen that yet.
Okay. Well, it makes sense on the Thursday short week for him to be out one more week, and then you get the long week and he comes back. But that's a factor. I'll probably be throwing – I know he's so boom or bust, but I'll probably be throwing some Christian Watson and some props tonight just because he can catch that long one. And they always give him they fire a couple deep shots at him every game. He's so boom or bust, though. But I like him tonight. All right, Vegas at Tampa. Tampa 6.5, 46.5. Cross-country trip for Vegas. Aiden O'Connell did play well against KC. He's not that bad. Tampa kind of got away with one at Carolina last week, I'd say, for sure. Mm-hmm. Winning in overtime. Mayfield's playing well. Do you have any opinion here? I don't have a strong opinion.
I like the over, if anything. I think Tampa's just – they're slinging it around right now. I think Mike Evans has a big performance in this game. And then the Raiders, their defense sucks, and O'Connell's being forced to throw the ball a lot. Jacoby Myers looked pretty good last week. And Bowers may be the best tight end in all of football right now. I think he has a big game. I like over 46.5 in this game.
Looking at some props then, maybe Bowers and Myers and Evans, maybe some.
And Mike Evans. Mike Evans over 100 yards is going to be on my ticket for probably the foreseeable future, just because he has a chance to get to 1,000 yards on the season.
For like the 12th year in a row.
For like the 12th year in a row. He needs to average 91 yards, I think, or something from here on out. 92, some shit like that. They're going to get him the football. He will be a focal point of this offense moving forward because out of necessity and because Baker wants to get him to 1,000 yards, they acknowledged it. I think it's going to happen. I expect big games from Mike Evans every game moving forward.
All right, fascinating matchup. Captain Kirk going back to Minnesota. Atlanta +6 at the Vikings 46. Cousins, I mean, the Chargers defense ate him alive last week. He had one fantasy point through 4 picks, I believe. You know, can he bounce back here? Minnesota's pass defense a hell of a lot worse than the Chargers, though. This one, actually, I think this one, I know, you know, with the Fantasy Football Factory pod, we talk about this game, too, presented by DraftKings. You think this one could get kind of wild?
I love this one. Now, this is one of my favorite, like, from a fantasy perspective, this is one of my favorite games of the week. I actually have one DFS lineup that's built out around Jefferson and London. I think they both could just go bananas in this game. I think Justin Jefferson is going to have his game of the year against Atlanta this week. Atlanta's been getting gashed through the air. I don't see any way that they stop Justin Jefferson. And Jefferson's coming off he had 99 yards. It's tough to say that it's a man performance for him. But it was just kind of average. He hasn't really showed out. I think he shows out this week against Atlanta. I like the over.
Okay. I can see that. I like the over here, too. How do you think Cousins does against Minnesota? You know, so much pressure.
I think he plays tons of pressure, but I think he plays well. I think he's competent. I think he's going to be game, and I think both defenses are going to give it up through the air.
All right, Cleveland Browns at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh 6.5, 43.5. I feel like these teams just played on Thursday night, like 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. You know, the full Jameis experience has been in play here. I mean, I don't think Pittsburgh's going to lose to Cleveland twice. I just can't see it. Even though the only thing is that the Tomlin thing, and I know this Pittsburgh offense has been rolling with Russ and Arthur Smith. I just never like betting Pittsburgh as a favorite. Just there's so much history with them, with Tomlin. They're the best. If they're an underdog, you just hit click. I mean, it's just like free. I mean, not free. There's no such thing as free money, but it is a very profitable thing to take Mike Tomlin as an underdog. And, I mean, they've won every game they're an underdog this year. But them favored division game, I got to see what Myles Garrett hamstring's like because he got banged up last week. But I lean Pittsburgh here.
Only thing that I'm probably gonna I can't get a read on that one. But I probably will take a Steelers defensive touchdown anytime score. Let's see what it's at.
It's probably lower than you think because of Jameis throwing the 2 pick sixes last week.
First touchdown score. Pittsburgh first touchdown score 25-1. I'll take that, and then they're plus 450 anytime touchdown. So I'll sprinkle a little bit on each right there.
All right, New York Jets. We're running through it all. New York Jets at Miami. Miami by 6:45. I'll just tell you this right now, Moody. Favorite game of the week is mine right here. I love Miami at home when they got it rolling and when Tua's healthy. It's a weird, different home field advantage. They score a ton of points at home, and Tua's cooking right now, especially the emergence of Jonnu Smith with A-Chain out the backfield and then Waddle finally is kind of coming around. I think the Jets could win this game like 31-10. I mean, not Jets. Miami can win this game. I think the Jets get their ass beat. Rodgers ain't going to be back next year. Where's the motivation? They fired their GM. They got an interim coach. It's a total mess. I think Miami rolls, and that's my biggest play of the week. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, I have no problem with Miami here. This is one of my stay away games just because I don't feel like Miami is – their season's almost over in a way. Like, I don't know. I just don't know where their motivation is coming from right now. I guess it's just, hey, we're a good football team. We've underachieved. We're going to show up and play well. That could definitely happen here. This is just a stay away for me personally.
Okay. Saints at Giants. Got to be the most boring NFL game of the week. Saints by 4.5 at 41. No Taysom Hill now. I think under. I know it's ugly, but under 41. I mean, look at Drew Lock playing against Derek Carr. I mean, all the Saints got is Alvin Kamara. Olave's out. I mean, they don't have any weapons other than him. I just think this is a crappy under 41 game, especially if there's some weather in New York, which we'll check out later in the week. I don't think anybody even wants to hear us talk about it. But do you have anything?
I like Kamara and the Saints defense. Those are the two things that I'll be putting money towards in this game. I have Kamara in a lot of my DFS lineups. I think the Saints win, though.
Okay, I think so, too. Jacksonville at Tennessee. Tennessee 3.5, 39.5. Do you like the Titans here?
I love the over in this game. I think this one's going to get a little bit wild. I'm big, and I said this yesterday in the FFF pod. Go check it out on YouTube if you care about our DFS and our fantasy takes. I think Will Levis is going to have Rumble. Yeah, and Rumble. I think Will Levis is going to have his best performance of the season. Jacksonville's been getting gashed through the air. Calvin Ridley and Westbrook Akine have been playing good football lately. Chiga Okonkwo, tight end, solid performance recently as well. I think Will Levis lights it up this week. I like Tennessee, and I like the over. Will Levis, game of the season coming on Sunday, hopefully.
All right, I'm going to hit these burpees.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
I have 4 more.
Give us four burpees. I'll see if I can find a banana, or if he can go find a banana somewhere in there, guys. Oh, shit.
Those things suck.
I'll give you some props for putting yourself back into that situation too. We didn't have to ask. You did that on your own.
Chat said 8, so
yeah, respect.
All right, Seattle at Arizona. Arizona 2.5, big game, top of the NFC West, 44.5. I like the over. I think this is a bounce back from that 13-6 game. I think it's gonna be higher scoring.
I think it should be. The weather's supposed to be okay out there. These two teams have everything
Arizona
on the line.
Indoors,
Yeah. I mean, it's everything's on the line here essentially. So,
kind of lean Arizona. I know Seattle's been hot, but I like Arizona at home.
Arizona's defense is better than people realize.
It is, and it's like you think over. Maybe I'm making a mistake here because you think over on them, but like last week, I was big on that over Arizona Minnesota, and it ended up pushing at 45. But they were both moving the ball. It was just a field goal fest.
Yeah, no. That's kind of been Arizona's thing. They move the football around. They have to settle for field goals. They're not very good in the red zone because they don't have that guy. Like Trey McBride's been good. Marvin Harris.
But he never – McBride is like not – he like gets like 80 –
He's not catching touchdowns.
I've never seen a tight end that gets like 9 catches a game that on a team that scores points not be able to get in the end zone. Like it's it's like bizarre. It doesn't even make sense. Mm-hmm. Bears +4 at Niners 44. I don't have a lot here. I mean, I think I kind of lean Niners, but Do you have anything?
I like the under more than anything here. I just think that San Francisco is going to come out, try and run the football,
With
play
Garendo?
defense with Garendo. I know, with freaking Garendo, but they don't really have a choice. Purdy's not playing good football right now.
He's hurt
lost
too.
his
He's
confidence.
playing. Yeah, he's been hurt
Yeah.
too.
His confidence, you can see it. His confidence is down versus where it was at last year. I think Shanahan's aware of that. I think they're going to try to ride the running game, play a low-scoring affair. I love the under in this game.
Okay, love the under like that. I could see them getting Debo involved a little bit more.
Yeah, he will. He'll touch the football. He's going to have to get touches. I don't think there's any question about it. He has to get touches.
All right, the Bills and Eagles are the hottest teams in the NFL. Buffalo's, I mean, they already clinched the AFC East already. There's like 4 or 5 weeks left in the season. They're 1 game back of the Chiefs, but they have the tiebreakers. They're playing for a lot for home field. They're favored by 4 out in LA, 49.5. I don't really have an opinion because I think that like the Bills got to lose at some point. And this is like a cross country one that if they're gonna lose, it'd be this one maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't want to go against them either.
I don't want to go against Philly right now.
No.
I mean, excuse me. The Rams. I think the Rams are going to. Excuse me. I do think Buffalo plays well here. I think the Rams play well as well. This is gonna be.
It's like it feels like a no bet. 49.5.
Yeah, it feels like a no bet. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a read. I feel like Rams games though, everybody thinks they're going to go over and they're lower scoring than you think. I think
they were early in the season. Their defense is playing slightly better than they were.
Well, it's because they got those 2 D linemen. The D line is with Jared Verse and Fisk from Florida State. I mean, they crushed that draft. Those guys are all over the field. And I also think, like, even though their offense is good, it's like not that explosive in the passing game. I don't know. All right, Sunday night, Chargers at Chiefs. Chargers are +4, 43. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I see an exact world where KC wins like 1916 or 2017. Like, exactly. It goes under. It's a physical game. They find a way because they always do, and then they win without covering the spread, which they do every single week. It's like crazy. The stats, like you look in the NFL on teams when they win, they cover the spread. It's like the Chiefs have won and not covered. Like over half of the games that have been won and not covered this year are KC. Like everyone else in the NFL, when they win, they cover the spread, and KC never does. I mean,
Green Bay's the same way. Green Bay and Kansas City are the 2 teams.
Okay, good point. Green Bay at Chicago, Houston. Yeah.
Yep.
That's true. But, I mean, they just find a way. They got a great defense. Mahomes makes a play at the end. I mean, it's just crazy when you look at KC. They should have lost week 2 to Cincy, won on the pass interference call, block a 34-yard field goal against Denver. Raiders from on their 19. They got 1 loss. They got to have like 5. But that's like part of that winning culture. I think there's like something to it. It's bizarre. But I do think the under. I think 43, especially if it's cold. Chargers on it. Chargers got great defense, but they're not explosive on offense. And finally,
right now they're struggling to run the football with Gus Edwards too. He's a step down from Dobbins as far as athleticism, and I think that's a problem for them at the moment.
Yeah, I do too. And then and Quentin Johnson struggled. The tight ends had a pretty good year too. All right, finally Monday night, Bengals by 5.5, 49.5 against the boys. Shout out to the boys though. Look, everybody said it was all lost. They hadn't quit. They've won 2 in a row. That was a big win at Washington. There's a lot to be said for professionalism when it's going south, and they have fought. I mean, I know I'm taking over 49.5 here. It seems very obvious, but like every time the Bengals take the field, all hell breaks loose. They're on a 3-game losing streak where they've scored 99 points the last 3 weeks, and they're 0-3. It reminds me of the Saints had a stretch like that during the Breeze's prime. From 14 to 16, they were 7-9 3 years in a row with like the best offense in the NFL and the number 32 defense, and that's what Burrow's going through this year. I mean, it's crazy. Like Burrow, you can make a legitimate argument that Burrow is like playing at an MVP level. He's having the best season of his whole career, and they can't win. And it's crazy. That's how bad their defense has regressed. And I blame Mike Brown, but their ownership. I think it's a cultural thing. He won't pay anybody not named Joe Burrow. He hadn't paid Higgins. He's on the franchise thing. He hadn't paid Jamar Chase. He hadn't paid Trey Hendrickson, their top pass rusher. I think it comes down from the ownership, and I think that's what's bleeding into it. And the problem is they had their Super Bowl window when Burrow was on the rookie contract, but now that Burrow's got a big one, he don't want to pay anybody else, and they're aggressive, and I think it's a thing.
Well, and I'll talk about the other team in that game, the Dallas Cowboys. They're morons for winning football games. They should be losing here. They're not going to make the playoffs. Their season is over, and they're picking up wins that are only giving them worse draft picks. I actually thought Dallas should have just tanked in this spot. taken a bunch of L's, gotten a high draft pick, made something happen with draft capital for the future. But now they're going to end up in the middle of the pack. They're going to lose out on those top-end draft picks. And I just think the Cowboys are doing everything wrong right now as an organization. As a former Cowboys fan, you hate to see it.
I don't know. I actually disagree with that. I know what you're saying on the tank thing, but I mean, Jerry Jones, the older guy, he's toward the end, takes pride in his organization. And I always feel like the tanking thing doesn't always work out. I mean, Jacksonville could have their third number one pick in 5 years, and look how that's going. So I think there's a lot to be said for being like professional and fighting hard for the fans. And I don't know. I actually give them credit for fighting back. And, I know Miami's in a similar spot right now.
I wanted to see Dallas lose, to be honest with you. I really wanted to see them lose.
All right. Other stuff before we get out of your conference championship stuff Saturday. Texas-Georgia game, the biggest one. What you think about that? I'm leaning. It being in Atlanta concerns me because Georgia will have a little bit of home field, but I'm liking Texas. I think Texas is a better team and bounces back here, and I think they end up as the 2 seed.
Yeah, I think Texas is the better team, but it's tough to count out Kirby Smart in these spots.
I know, I know.
He's tough.
I know. I don't love it. I know. Texas in a 2.5-point sketchy favorite.
Yeah, I like Sark. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like he's more of the flash, and then you have more of the true substance on the Georgia side with the way they play defense. The question is going to be Carson Beck. Can Beck play well in this game, or is he going to try and give it away for Georgia? If he shows up and plays good football, I think Georgia wins. If Beck has multiple turnovers, I think Texas finds a way.
Yeah, the Georgia defensive line dominated that first game, and it's Texas' offensive line, which is a real good unit. Yeah, a good unit. They got to step up here. But looking forward to that game. Other big thoughts for Saturday. I love Arizona State by 2 over Iowa State in the Big 12 championship. The SMU Clemson game, I don't even know. I lean under a little bit. Curious to see what happens in that for sure. And then I'm kind of thinking Oregon here. The more that game comes closer, I'm leaning Oregon by 3.5 over Penn State. But conference championship week, huge week. Like I said, Thursday night, Packers Lions. Episode 3 is airing tonight. Just all kinds of stuff going on, as it always does. That's for damn sure. And, yeah, that's what I got. So,
first off, chat loves the workout stuff. They want to see more workout like Richard. And this is what I said to him yesterday, Richard Simmons type workouts. So they like that from you. They're big fans. I think we'll have to incorporate.
Yeah, we're bringing the damn energy back. Look, we're giving the chat what they want. We're bringing the high energy. Look, let's turn it up. We'll keep that going. For sure.
Do you have a parlay that you like for tonight? Have you come up with anything that you
let's come up with one. Let's come up with one right now before we get out of here. All right, Packers Lions. Let's come up with a Wake Up Mintzy prop parlay here. All right, I kind of think Green Bay money line in it because it's a good price.
Based on what you and I have been saying, I think we have to have Green Bay money line in there just to fit our narrative.
Okay. All right, we're coming up with a Wake Up Mintzy same game parlay here tonight, and they'll as always on DraftKings too. There'll be a Thursday night. Let's see if they've got the boost one. All about the boost, but special boost. Here we go. Opt in. So just opt in. We got a 50% same game boost for a 3-leg plus parlay for tonight. So we got to come up with 3 legs here, Moody, for the chat.
Okay.
Let's come up with a winner. The line went from 3.5 to 3. By the way, I think over these injuries.
Interesting.
I think we still go Green Bay money line. I've been feeling this. I really have. So, all right, Green Bay plus 45 first leg. All right, other legs in this thing. I've got one I'm leaning on. Do you have what are you thinking? You got anything you're thinking about?
I think that Reed is going to have to be an impactful player in this game for Green Bay if they're going to win. I think Jaden,
especially with no Dobbs.
Especially with no Dobbs, he's a guy that they just manufacture touches for. What's his?
What about Wicks? Could Wicks step up without Dobbs?
Wicks could have a small role as well. He's been getting snaps when Dobbs has been out. I like Reed the most though, for sure.
Okay, do you? So Reed is he gets the ball rushing some too. They give him some jet sweeps and stuff.
They get him handles, yeah.
All right, his numbers, the odds aren't the best. It's if you go over 70 yards, it's plus 120. It looks like 80 plus 180. Do you like him yardage or touchdowns more?
I like the touchdowns more. They find ways to get him going in the red zone.
All right.
I think he could get in the end zone for sure.
All right, he's plus 135 touchdowns. Is that a good enough price?
I think it's a good enough price. He's going to be the main. He's their number 2 in the offense outside of Josh Jacobs.
Okay. So you want to put your leg? Do you want to go Reed touchdown? Is that your leg?
Yeah. Give me a Reed touchdown. That was what I was first looking at. Reed touchdown plus 135.
All right. So we got 2. All right. Going to look at a third leg here. It's always hard. So the lines thing, I mean, everybody knows how elite both Montgomery and Gibbs are, but it's like hard to do because they both split, and they get in the end zone every week. But I don't want to go touchdown scores because the odds are too bad. I'm always looking for plus money stuff. So I'm between two odds bets, and I don't know if I want to go. You already went with Reed, which makes me want to stay off Watson a little bit because I think Reed's the receiver.
I think Watson could have yards if you're thinking. I think Watson could be somebody that they look for in the middle of the field, and Reed's someone that they just manufacture touches for.
Well, Watson gets those bombs. The big thing with him is they take the deep shots. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of looking on the other side because I'm always a big James. I mean, I ride every week, dude. I'm just a Jameson Williams roadie. I mean, it is what it is, dude. Especially now that he's healthy again off that suspension a few weeks ago. I just think they get him targets. I think he's that guy. So I think we're going to add. Let me see what this leg is. All right, if we add 80, if we go Jameson Williams over 80 yards at 3-1, we got a 17-1 before the boost. So 17-1, Packers money line, 80 plus JMO yards and a Jaden Reed touchdown, and that's before the boost. So we add our boost, it's 25.50.
I'll tell you the other one that I like here is David Montgomery under 58.5 rushing yards. I just think that if Green Bay gets out and plays from ahead, that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to see the majority of the playing time in the second half. He's going to throw him the football more. They're going to have this is all assuming that Green Bay, comes their defense, one of the better run defenses in the NFL. I think they give up right at 100 rushing yards per game. I could just see this being a spot where this is a Jahmyr Gibbs game instead of a David Montgomery performance.
Okay, well, with that, so for your leg, would you rather the under on Montgomery or the Reed touchdown?
I'm just going to stick with Reed touchdown. I'll throw Montgomery on another one of mine.
Okay, I think I'm going to go. What do you think? Do you have a problem with me going JMO over 80?
No, I got no problem with whatever you want to do.
All right, so the Wake Up Mintzy parlay then for tonight. We got Green Bay money line, Jameson Williams over 80, Jaden Reed anytime touchdown with the 50% boost on DraftKings. It's plus 25.50. We rolling?
There we go. Yep, I'm with it. Let's do it. It's not that bad either.
No, it's great. So yeah, we'll tweet it out on social too for sure. So all right, we're gonna roll with that. I got with the 50% boost plus 25.50, hit and submit. We are in. That's what we're rolling, baby. All right, and we'll keep coming out with them. Follow at Moody Mac TV on Twitter. We'll be posting all our stuff. Look, it's been a great NFL season. It's been a great college football season. Let's make some damn money on DraftKings, and let's have a hell of a weekend, boys. Check out Surviving Barstool episode 3 tonight. Shout out Dude Wipes as always. Amazon, Target, Walmart, nationwide. Dude Wipes. It's a revolution. One use will change your life. Cleaning up all messes. It's the best product. They're hilarious on social media. Follow them. Check out Dude Wipes. Appreciate their support of Wake Up Mintzy. Let's go have a hell of a day.